you saw him try to create one and took a sack the other day, but then you saw him also create, run, and scramble, and then you saw him create and hit a fourth down to Rashad Berry. So that's kind of what we've been talking about, is that he's got to learn from his mistakes and learn from his successes, and when it's time to go ahead and scramble, when it's time to throw it away, when it's time sometimes to take a sack, when it's time to get out of bounds, all those things. And very, very difficult to organize in practice. You're not live, it's just very, very different. And so the more he gets experience in that, we get back on the film and we teach him off the film, then I think the better he'll be at making those decisions.
Did you consider yourself a creative guy when you were playing quarterback?
I don't know how I'd describe myself. I think my intelligence certainly helped my level of play more than my athleticism.
And I think people wonder a lot about different coordinators and play callers sort of meshing together, but how important is it for the offensive play caller and the quarterback to be on the same page, and where do you think you and Justin are in that 4 games into this?
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think anytime you call a play, you're talking to the quarterback. We talk to the guys about that all the time. When you call a play, what are we trying to get done with that play? There's certain plays you're working all parts of the play. You're working a full field progression, and based on what the defense gives you. There's other times maybe you're taking a shot. Sometimes you're throwing to a certain receiver. Sometimes the ball's got to get out on time. Sometimes I got to hold it a little bit longer. But that's all. That's the stuff that's done during practice, done in the meeting room. But again, every time you call a play, that play is giving you information as a quarterback what we're trying to get done on that play.
Fourth row left, Andy.
Yes, Coach, this may sound like a weird question, but the way that he's writing Big Ten preview this week, have you had a chance to watch Wisconsin at all, and what have you seen?
Yeah, I've seen just highlights. I've not studied them at all, but we see them in some crossover games. When we study film, and they're off to a great start, and the quarterback looks like he's in a rhythm. Running backs running hard. Offensive line is always doing a great job, and the defense is swarming to the ball. That's all I can really tell based on what I've seen. But I haven't really studied those guys a bunch.
Can you talk about Jeffrey Okudah and what the ways you've seen him grow since you've been here?
Yeah, I think he's done a good job of taking on the technique that just teaching him and embracing that. And now I think the big thing for Jeff is now, where are we going to go as we get into the middle of the season? I think he's flashed. Got the interception last week. He's done some good things, but now that some of this stuff's on film and teams start scheming us up, how are you going to be able to respond to it?
Right next door, Murph.
Ryan, you guys haven't played a full 4 quarters yet. Nebraska's been in 2 games where they've had to go the whole length. How does that maybe impact Saturday?
Well, I think it's a good point to bring up that we have not played a full game, and in 4 games, that's unique. So it's something that we're going to talk to the guys about, is that we have to be able to play 60 minutes and prove that we can play 60 minutes. That has not happened. The good news is we've been picking up some depth, and we've been building depth in these 4 games, and guys have played so that we feel a little better about putting guys in the game when we need to, and we can roll guys. But to your point, we haven't been in the 4th quarter in a game where we've had to really grind and work through all that adversity, and so that's a challenge going on the road this week, because we will this week.
And last week, you had your first 3:30 game. This will obviously be a night game. Just in terms of game day preparation, how much does that change things when you have to be around all day as opposed to even afternoon?
I think it's significant when it's like a difference between a noon game and a night game. Noon game, you got to get up fast, you got to get up early. It's like full metal jacket as you get going, But in a night game, you have to kind of build up to it. 3:30, somewhere in between. But we have our routine. We're still going to have our pregame meal 4 hours before. We'll do our walkthroughs and meetings in the morning, try to keep those guys moving. We don't want them in their rooms sleeping all day, and getting lethargic. So we'll kind of get them up and do a walkthrough, different things like that. But it's certainly a gradual momentum builder towards kickoff. You can't go win the game at 10:30 in the morning and get them all jacked up because you're not playing the game then. So there is an art to it, but a lot of our guys have played night games, and so there's experience to build on there.
Third row left, Dan.
Ryan, you guys have blocked a kick or a punt now in each of the last 3 games. What do you think Matt Barnes has done well with those units to allow that to happen?
Yeah, no, I think he's the leader of the units, and he's somebody that wanted to come in and have a bunch of blocks this year, and he's off to a good start. He's had a good scheme, but it's all the assistant coaches are involved in special teams. You've got a lot of guys involved with that, and then the players, they're embracing special teams. And I think that goes to show you the culture of Ohio State is that our best players are on the field and they're making blocks and getting some returns going that way, and so Special teams has been a positive for us so far, but we got to keep that building as we go. And again, it's a whole team effort, you know. But Matt is the coordinator, and he's doing a good job.
Obviously, Urban Meyer put a huge emphasis on special teams. How important is that for you to make sure in this first year that none of that emphasis is dropped off?
Yeah, critical. I'm in every special teams meeting, and that's you know, as the play caller and offense coordinator, it's hard to do. You're missing some different times, you know, or with the quarterback and with some of the other position meetings, but I just think it's so important that I'm in all those meetings and making sure I'm on top of it as well, because of what you said. You know, some of the reasons that games have been won around here is because of special teams, and we want to keep that going.
Also, Isaiah Pryor made the decision to transfer. Josh Proctor missed last week's game. In terms of your safety depth, what does that do at that position? Is there a concern there at all?
Well, we think that you know, we have pretty good depth there. You know, we have a bunch of guys, and when we went to the bullet, you know, that kind of opened up some different things for us. And so now you're looking at, you know, you got Jordan, you have Josh, you know, there's some other guys there that can also play that. Jocelyn Wink can play there, Marcus Hooker can play there. You know, we have some different guys that can fill in there, so we feel pretty good about our depth there.
Front row right, Austin.
Right.